had only 3 shortcuts, Ableton shortcuts to take to a desert island, it is Command. It is your big sis Denver, here to make Ableton less confusing for you. It is so overwhelming when you start out there, but I have 10 super simple shortcuts that are gonna make it less confusing, save you some time. So grab your notebook, grab a drink, grab a snack. I love snacking while watching YouTube videos, and hopefully I can make Ableton feel a bit more comfy and a bit more like home for you. Okay, let's get into it. When you open Ableton, you are gonna see Session View, which is what we're looking at right now. Nobody really produces on Session View, it's more for live performance. So what you wanna do is press Tab, and you're gonna get to the Arrangement view, which most tutorials on Ableton about production will be on this view. So it's pretty important. And in my opinion, it's the easiest view to produce on. So if you accidentally get to this view, press Tab, boom, you're back. Okay, the next shortcut is track creation. We have Command T for a new audio track and Command Shift T for a MIDI track. And it's so much faster than right clicking and clicking like insert audio track. That's 2 clicks, and when you have the muscle memory, your workflow goes so much faster. Audio tracks are for recording in audio, or if you have samples that you want to put in, you would put them in audio. So let me just go grab a quick sample here. Not the grand piano. Okay, let's grab that. See, that's a sample, and then the MIDI track, so Command Shift T for MIDI, you can create a MIDI clip. I just right-clicked there and insert MIDI clip. That's a shortcut later on that we're gonna get into. You can just create a melody and then put an instrument on. So let's say you want to solo a track now and just hear what it's doing. All you have to do is go to the selected track, which is the lighter one here, press S, and you'll see this dark blue circle. So this means this track is being soloed. And if you want to unsolo it, press S again. This shortcut is essential for organizing your tracks and just overall session organizing. It is Command R, and that will rename the track. So you have to click kind of the track head here, Command R, and you can rename it. I think this is a drum beat, like drum loop. And this also works on the direct clip. So if you want to rename this, select the clip, drums. And also works for our MIDI clips down here. So we can do, this was a bass, bass. This next one is my favorite. I use it probably every time I make music, and that's duplicating a clip. Command D, and you can see it's just duplicating. You can do it on MIDI clips down here. If I select this whole section here, these 2 bars, and do Command D, it will duplicate it exactly. Did you just see that? It is truly such a great shortcut and really helpful for arrangement. Here's another fun trick. You can actually duplicate entire tracks. So just select the track here on the right, Command D, boom. We have another version of that we just duplicated. And sometimes this helps if you want to have the drums in this section, but like a little bit different. And Command D is so helpful for like coming up with ideas. You're like, I don't know what to do with the next section. Let's just duplicate it and let's, I don't know, mess around with it. If I had only 3 shortcuts, Ableton shortcuts to take to a desert island, it is Command D. I'm just saying. I feel like these shortcuts are a little bit slept on, and they are the grid shortcuts. So Command 1 will make the grid have smaller subdivisions. So you can see in the corner, it's on half a bar, and then this is quarter note. Sorry, that was half note. What am I saying? That was a half note. So now they're on quarter notes, 8th notes, 16th notes. If it's not working, you might have been like zoomed out, or like just try zooming in, zooming out, and like they should start working. Command 2 makes the grid subdivisions larger. So this is 16th notes, 8th notes, 4th. There we go, half notes. Then if you want a triplet grid, which, you know, adds some sauce, Command 3, and you'll see a little T here, and that's how you'll know you're on the triplet grid. This actually works in a MIDI clip as well. So let me just click, I double clicked into the MIDI and look down in the corner, Command 3, you're on the triplet grid. Also, the other ones that I just talked about work in the MIDI clip as well. And if you don't want any grid, Command 4. So now you can just like move it around freely. it won't snap to anything. So now let me just turn that back on because I need a grid. Here is another desert island shortcut I would take with me, and that is splitting clips and joining them together. So let's say this drum loop, I want to split it right here. Maybe I don't like this section for whatever reason. Command E, boom, now they're split. But what if this was a different clip? Like maybe let me go to the samples again. Okay, I'm just gonna pick some random sample. This is not gonna make sense. The air can. I want the air can and this drum loop together for whatever reason. You can just select them both. So press shift so you select them both, and Command J will consolidate them. Now they're one clip. Here's another great tip. Let me just undo that. You can add empty space. So if you want to take the whole bar, you can just select the entire bar, Command J, and the clip is now that long. So then it makes sense, and there's not like this random gap here. Do crazy stuff. You can like switch it around. This is really helpful for drum loops. If you're like, I don't really like that, like let me change the groove a little, just Command E, switch around. Or you can combine them. So this is one that I use a lot. Now, if you want really quick access to your instruments, your effects, your samples, use this shortcut, which is Command F, and it goes straight to the browser. So I'm on this loop, let me just delete all these plugins, and I'm like, oh, I want a reverb. Command F, put in Valhalla Vintage Verb, go down, use the arrow keys, press enter, and there it is. And that is it. It's super easy, and you can be anywhere in Ableton, and there's Command F, your cursor goes here, and you can start typing in whatever you need. I have met producers who are like, yeah, I didn't really use it, and now I do, and it saves me a lot of time, and I know it's so basic. It's so basic, but not everybody uses it, and I think it's very helpful. If you are recording or just changing audio inputs, this next one is a key shortcut, and it's basic, but honestly, I didn't really know it for a long while, so it's Command, comma, and it brings up the preference menu. You can change your output device here and your input device. So sometimes, I'm gonna be honest, I sing into my MacBook microphone. But, sometimes I'm like, okay, that was good. Let me plug it into my audio, let's plug into my audio interface and record it for real. Then I would open this, Command, comma, and change the input device and change the output device. This one is about automation basics, and this is an effect that you'll probably hear in people's songs, which is this auto filter here. Let me turn off my mic so you can actually hear it. So I'm going to show you what it sounds like with me doing it in real time, and then I'm going to show you how to automate it. And there's a shortcut that I'm going to share that's going to make this faster. So did you hear that automation? Just filtering down. That's a common automation you'll hear, especially as you approach a new section of a song. So the shortcut here that's important is the letter A. If you do A, the automation lane, I don't know if I want to say lanes, the automation lines will show up. So here, it only works if this little piano thing is not selected. Forgot what it's called, but if this is selected, A doesn't work. So you have to make sure this thing in the corner here is unselected. Then you can press A, and then you have automation, and then press any single one of these things that you want to automate. So let's say frequency, press A and then press frequency, and then you can just draw in the automation, draw little dots. And then here's a fun one. If you press Option or Alt on Windows, you can adjust the curve. So then we're gonna hear it again. Okay, also, one more thing. To turn it off, it's the same thing. A on, A off. This next shortcut will help you with recording and speeding up that workflow. I really can't show it to you right now because I'm recording and OBS won't let me, but it's the shortcut C. And all you have to do is press C, and this little square right here will turn red, and that means your track is record enabled, and you can record into it, whether that's playing in MIDI or like singing, playing guitar, whatever it is. Then you can unenable it by pressing C again. Well, those are all the shortcuts I got for you guys, and I hope you found them helpful. I have another video coming up if you're a more intermediate producer, but please subscribe in the meantime to support, and I'll see you in the next one.